Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Testing 1, 2, okay. So it looks like we have Elizabeth and Alex on, and that's a good start. K-Mom wants the link, so I'll send it during the break. But welcome, and not much has really happened in the world of... Welcome, Aunt Janet. Not much has really happened. A lot of work activities are going on. I've been actually up in all the way as far north as Lake Placid, actually, and really and doing a lot of work, particularly for, I want to say, the Dollar Tree, actually. And there's a couple of things that are not, that I had struggled with. For example, I want to say, getting the screw off, that took some time. Yes, getting the screw off took some time to try to... Oh, thank you, Elizabeth, for giving me the link. But there's always one particular thing in the store where I have to get the screw off, actually, and that takes some time. There's always one little stickler. There's always one little stickler that I have to try to get off, and I can't quite get off because I don't have the bolts for it. And that's always difficult. So, it's trying to get that off. So I tried multiple... Oh, yes. Aunt Jen, are you kayaking out of your house? With all seriousness... with all seriousness, how is the weather down there? Have you been hit by the storm? Have you been hit by the storm badly, or are you in pretty good condition, actually? And is there substantial flooding in that area? Or are you pretty much doing all right? I'm curious to know because of the weather reports that we actually got from, or at least from what I've heard on the national news. It's like a summer storm. Storm surge is severe. Yes, I can see that. Yes. I know in Tampa area. I know in the Tampa Bay got hit pretty hard. But I'm glad that you're doing fine. I'm glad that it's not that bad. And whoa, that's big. Anna Maria had an 8 feet... Are you serious? 8 feet surge? Wow. I also know that Tampa Bay got hit pretty bad. Or at least the city of Tampa Bay got hit pretty bad. Or at least somewhere along the Gulf Coast. And I know where Anna Maria is. So, that's not very far from Bradenton. But I'm glad that you're doing well. And I'm glad that you're not kayaking out of the house. Longboat Key residents have 4 feet of water. Okay, please tell the listeners I'm not even familiar with Longboat Key. Where is Longboat Key in relation to Bradenton? Could you please tell me that? Because let me look that up on a map. Longboat Key. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at a map. It's not very far. Okay, here's the reference for those of you who don't know where Longboat Key is. Just switch it over. Oh, oops. So here's Longboat Key. Okay, oh, I see. And then this is Bradenton Beach. Longboat Key to Bradenton. Oh, not very far. Okay. It makes sense because Longboat Key is on the water. Longboat Key is closer to the water than inland Bradenton is. So that does make sense. Oh, yes, that does make sense right here. This is Braden. Okay. And this is Bradenton. And then that's Longboat Key. Oh, yes, and there's Anna Maria. And Anna Maria is off this way. Okay. Yes. We've actually been to Anna Maria. I believe last time we were out there, we've actually been to Anna Maria. I know we've been to Anna Maria. And there's Longboat. Okay. And that makes sense because Anna Maria and Longboat Key are on the water. So that makes more sense, yes. Well, anyway, okay, hold on. We're gonna take a break because Mom can't seem to get on, so let's take a break. We'll try to get Mom on, and we'll be right back. I'm glad you can join us, Mom, and welcome to the show. Let's hear a little bit more from from Aunt Janet about the storm. I'm sure we're all interested to know how you're doing. I know you said that it's doing fine. Other areas have gotten hit, like Anna Maria and Longboat Key. Just trying to catch Mom up because she missed this information. But Anna Maria, according to what you said, Anna Maria and Longboat Key have been hit pretty bad. So that's near, and if you take a look at this map, hold on. If I can get this to cooperate. There we go. If you take a look at this map, you'll see Anna Maria and Longboat Key are close to the water, and Bradenton. Now, I don't know your exact address, but Bradenton is farther inland, even though I can see that there is some you are on the Manatee River, but I can see why the Anna Maria and Longboat Key are are more severely hit because they're on the water. They're actually, and they don't have much land to protect it. As you can see here and here. Yes, AMI is everything. Okay, everything north of Longboat Key. Okay, so, and this says Bradenton Beach, and currently it's closed. So everything north of here, or where exactly? Where do you see the border line between Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key? Is it near where I have my cursor, or is it a little bit farther north? And I'm also curious about the other areas, like north into Tampa Bay or St. Petersburg. I don't know if you have any reports of how the city of Tampa proper is doing, how St. Petersburg, Clearwater, or anywhere north of the coast is doing, or anywhere south of where you are is doing. I'm just curious to see what areas are hardest hit nearby you, or I know you said, okay, all the coastal communities suffer from severe surge, okay. Those towns are on AMI, okay. The border is the channel. Oh, okay. Which I don't see right here on the map. There's Sarasota Bay. Okay. Okay. I think this is the channel you're referring to. I want to say, and I just have to guess, but I probably want to say this is the channel. That's the channel that borders, I'm guessing, Anna Maria Island. Okay. So anyway, I'm glad to hear that you're safe. Every time there's a hurricane in Florida, Just turn my. Okay. Every time there's a hurricane on the Gulf Coast of Florida, I always get worried. This kind of goes back to, if you remember, Hurricane Charlie back in '04, where I know you were up here, but we were just trying to monitor the Florida area, and your area didn't get much. So I'm glad this is, I'm actually glad that you're not being impacted as much. Yes, there's a bridge. This is, yep, Longboat Pass Bridge. That's it. Oops. Switching back here to the... It's kind of fun looking at these maps, trying to get a lay of the land of Sarasota, Bradenton area. Okay. Yes, that was supposed to hit Port Tampa and hit Port Charlotte. Okay. Oh, it's supposed to hit, yes, Charlie was harsh. And then last year, do you remember, it started with an I. The hurricane's name started with an I, and I'm just trying to remember. But you're saying the hurricane was supposed to hit Tampa, and it hit Port Charlotte. Ian, that's it, yes. I wanted to do that. Ian, Elizabeth, Ian. I remember that storm hit pretty bad your area as well. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting to know. You said Laura's sister and two brothers are now in Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. Do you know if they got hit? So you're also saying that it hit Port Charlotte and went inland. Have you heard from Laura's sister and two brothers? Are they good? Have they lost any power or lost? Did they have significant damage? They're inland, haven't heard. Okay. Well, let's just pray that they're safe. It's good to know that we have family inland or in other parts of the state that we have to watch for. Now we hope they're safe. In any storm, we hope that. Let me just say this. In any storm, we hope that everyone is safe and they don't have any issues, or they're not severely impacted by the storm. And all we can do is just watch and pray. And that actually segues into the next song perfectly. Because it's Leave a Light. It's called Leave a Light On. Oh, Susan and John did live in the Florida Key. Who's Susan and John? Oh. Is that the same? Is that the same people as Laura's sister and two brothers? Oh, right, yes, because I didn't catch their names. I didn't get the connection because I didn't get their names, so they did live in the Florida Keys at one time. And then they moved Okay. Okay. Cousins, right. So they move. So it sounds like they moved from the Florida Keys up to Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. Okay. I get it now. I didn't before, but I get it now. I didn't before, but I get it now. Oh yes, they moved. So they probably had their share of storms as well. In the Keys, they probably had their share of worse storms. I'm taking it. So if you we'll just pray that they're safe as well. And I'm sure you'll keep us in the loop of how they're doing in the year in the weeks to come. I didn't even know, and again, I didn't even know that Florida has some communities that have had less destruction. Planning those communities, utilities, and architecture. Communities, utilities, and architecture differently than other communities that seem to undergo. Oh, that's very interesting. So, I wonder if Bradenton is one of those communities. But it sounds like they're pretty. Sounds like they're pretty good. Or at least they have one near Punta Gorda survived in with little damage. Oh, that's good. Seems like we're the It seems like our family seems to be the ones. I'm only saying this because I'm sure other people in Florida have much severe damage than what you seem to report. And again, just looking at this storm is a little bit. Every storm is different. I know every storm is different. But it sounds like you. It sounds like you, Jan, are lucky with this one because it wasn't as much damage. Safe places, storms. That's good to hear. So it's good that you're in. What I'm trying to say is, I'm glad that Bradenton doesn't get hit as much with these storms as other parts of the state. And most importantly, I'm glad that you're safe. So that's going to segue. Yes, so that's going to segue pretty nicely. Others may do better due to planning and building homes and communities that might be better suited to survive. That's also a good point. You want to prepare for the worst and hope the best for every storm. Yes. That's good advice because let's say if you're not prepared, and we actually have a PSA that's not in the rotation right now, or it's not scheduled to be played right now, but we actually have a PSA that talks about emergency preparedness. And what I've always heard is it's better to plan, because if you don't plan, then you have a better chance. You have a more chance of getting hit or making it out much worse. So I am glad, and that actually, I'm glad that you're prepared. I'm glad that you're safe. And that actually is a segue into the next song. Leave a light on. So we'll leave a light on for Florida, so to speak. And we'll just hope that everybody is safe down there. And for those who did get severely hit, just know that you're not alone. And there's always ways to rebuild. So this song goes out to you. And we'll be back with some more. We'll be back with more right after this. So please stay tuned. There are the songs that we just played. Let me just turn on my monitor here. Oops. The song we just played, I always have a sentimental connection to it. Not just because not just because of the song, but because this is kind of my show and tell for the week. Because we actually used to play, I remember actually playing on this CD player. And we just found this CD player when we were cleaning out 51. When we were cleaning out 51 on Oswego Street. And by the way, that house is sold now. I got official word that we sold the house actually, and the people next door bought it, I believe. Yes, but anyway. Getting back to the story, I used to play it on this little CD player, and the CD was in very bad condition that it would still skip. It would skip, and it still skips to this day. Actually, this is my show and tell. I still have all these original CDs. I still have this, it's not a binder, it's what you may call a carrying case full of all the old CDs that we had back in the 1990s, 2000s. Yes, I'm curious. I wonder that too, if the CDs would be worth anything now, vintage. I mean, just take a look. We have the Bahama. We have the Bahama. We have some of the old CRWs. I know this says Lions Camp Hickory on it. Oops. Oh, that's true. But that's more record albums. Although that's more record albums. CDs, I'm really not sure if CDs are in the same category as vinyl records these days. I just don't know. Everything's now switched to digital these days. And I know everything's, even so, we're living in an interesting. We're living in an interesting, I would agree with Rachel, because we're living in an interesting world of music consumption these days. Everything now is on demand and digital, yet we still see this rise in vinyl records. So, and I find what I find interesting is what's going to happen eventually to CDs and cassettes. Actually, that's the type of music that I grew up on. Actually, CDs and cassettes. We used to have real pictures and picture albums. That's true. And now everything seems to be going digital these days. Everything seems to be going digital these days. And I mean, that's just the world that we live in. Everything's gone digital. Almost everything's gone digital. And you can't, and now everything's more on demand as well. Everything's more on demand. I remember there were DJs talking about their collection of 8-tracks. Oh, that's interesting. Many of them say they wish they still had them. And as you can see here, I still have the collection CDs and cassettes. And I actually remember recording on a lot of cassettes, actually. One of the things that I used to love to do is just record. I just record anything on the cassette player. Yes, just record anything on the cassette player, and then video. And now everything's digital. You can just record something on your phone. And now you can, it's interesting. This is what I find interesting the most. How these days now you can just record anything. Everything's more on demand. So you have ways of, I'm even doing this radio show. I mean, if you remember back in the days when you actually had to be on the radio to do this. And you couldn't just go on the internet and Google something. You actually had to wait until you had Yes, that's also true. People like me prefer that over finding songs online. I mean, that is true also. The point I'm trying to make is I just looking back, looking where we are 25 years ago. If you think where we were 25 years ago, we didn't have on-demand, and we had on-demand internet, but it wasn't prevalent as it is now. And we didn't have actually all this on-demand technology where in an instant you can get instant gratification. If you want to know something, you can just type it into Google. If you want to hear a song, you just go to YouTube. Maps and GPS systems, yes. Yes, back 25 years ago, Everything you had to print the directions out. And if you were not familiar, if you weren't familiar with the area, paper maps, and you'd have to print the directions. And cell phones did exist back then, but they weren't prevalent as they are now. And they obviously weren't as advanced as they are now. It's interesting how technology has evolved so much just over the last 25 years that today we can do almost anything just on this phone. We can do almost everything just on this phone alone. Back 25 years ago, oh yes, we and I am. Every time we go online, we are followed and continue to be actually guided with interfered by Google and others. Yeah, so even back then, technology was you actually make a good point, Mom, of what your last comment here. I also find that sometimes that I've just listening to a personal private enjoyment. There's sometimes where I just want to enjoy something and be off my phone and just take in the world around me. That's very important. So, and I can see that as well. I can see that as well. Everything is now completely on technology that we sometimes stop, or we sometimes can't stop and just take in the world around us. And that's why you like radio. You can listen when, where, and how I want privately. Anyway, this is getting I dropped the microphone. This is getting off track of what I really wanted to show you. My point of doing this, is to just show you this CD that the last song came on, and I don't know if you can tell here, but it's still there's still a lot of scratches and dents, or scratches that you really can't see. But if I try to play it in this, I didn't even know the Country Music Awards were this week. It's interesting how Beyonce is going into country. Beyonce is going country. Then I just put it in here. And now the first track is playing, as you can see here. But the fifth track probably still skips. Just gonna put this back in where it's supposed to go. Let me check that. She has gone country, and it has created a lot of conversation and some critiquing from others. Okay, let's take a look. Allow ads. Allow ads. Yes, allowing ads on this page. That's not going to give much of information. No, it says Beyonce snubbed again. Oh, this says Beyonce was snubbed again after 7 nominations at the People's Choice Country Awards. Wow. Beyonce not honored. No trophies for categories like People's Artist, Album of the Year, Song of the Year. So there you have it. Beyonce did not win any awards for it may need to have the dust blown out. No, I just found out. So there you have it. She did not win any awards. At least at the Country Music Awards. Did not win any awards for which she was nominated. She did, I think she was nominated. She was at least nominated but did not win. According to the information that I had. What that article said, actually. And so that segues into tonight's Bumper Dumper, which we'll be doing next. We actually have one of the tracks. We actually have one of the new tracks on Cowboy Carter on on Beyonce's new album that we meant to play for last week, but it wasn't loaded in properly, so we'll try it again this week. Uh, that and more as we roll along with the pre-weekend kill. I'm sorry. That was the old title of the show. It's now called The Weekend Party. More up next. Stay tuned. Oops. It's this one, the other one. I thought that was pretty good, actually. I'd vote Bump 2. And it's quite interesting Beyonce has changed her sound so much that it still holds true to the Beyonce sound that we know, but it's a little bit different too. And so I'm glad that this one has a unanimous bump as well. A unanimous bump. Thank you, Alex, for your bump vote. Okay, now we're going to move on to a little, I heard it on the way to Johnstown, actually, on 97.9, 105.5 Kiss FM, where I find most of these songs. This is an artist named Alice the Goon with 2 zeros in Alice the Goon. She spells it in that way with 2 zeros in place of the O's, actually. And this is what we call In Time. So I'm curious to know what you think of this one. It's called Alice the Goon. That's the name of the artist, actually. The name of the artist is Alice the Goon, and the title of the song is called In Time. I am curious to know what you think of this one. And here we go. Oops. I'm sorry for that mishap. Hopefully everybody's still on. We're going to give this another try in a minute. But first, to reset everything, we're going to play Billie Eilish first. And then we're going to try to load that song in next. So I sincerely apologize for what happened. So just stay tuned. And we'll be back. Yeah, so I muted down the other song so that we can try and get this one next. So here we go. This is Alice the Goon with In Time, and your bumper dumper starts now. Yes, I'm sorry, and I didn't realize how violent the music video was going to get until we watched the whole thing. So I apologize for that. Um, if I can find if I can find another music video that's not as violent as that one, I'll try to for next time. Oops. Okay, hold on one second. No, it's not just you. Yes, good thing we are all over 18. That's true. Yes. But that's the only video I could find the song in, so I'm glad you like it. I did like the song, though. I enjoyed the song, although the music video was a little bit violent, so I'm sorry about that. If there's another video which exists, if there's another video which does exist, that's not as violent, I'll try to find it. I think the song quality or the singer's vocal quality is pretty good. And maybe that's just me. The singer had some pretty good vocals in it. And that's personally why I like the song. Other people can have different opinions. It also has a good beat, yes, that's true. Let me see what's next. I actually only planned two. Where's the newest hits? I actually only planned two songs for this segment. Thinking we'd have one. Thinking that we'd have one song that the listeners could choose. Usually I leave one song slot open for the listeners to choose. Okay. Alright then. There hasn't been more I usually have 4. But I just didn't have 4 tonight, so I'm sorry. Okay. Let me just find something we can close out on. Hip hop. Oh, Rachel, what's your suggestion? Another Benson Boone Pretty Slowly. I haven't heard that one yet, but we'll try to put that on the next one, actually. The next Bump It or Dump It. We'll put it on the next Bump It or Dump It. Okay. I'll keep that in mind for next week's Bump It or Dump It. Okay. In the meantime, I put in the recurrence. That's why, because I put in the recurrence. Where is it? Oh, here we go. And while we're just closing up shop, I have one big sad news. Unfortunately, the actress who played, and I wish I had a Harry Potter. I don't have the Harry Potter theme in the rotation, but unfortunately, the Maggie Smith, the actress who played Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter movies, unfortunately did pass away almost at the age of 90, I believe. And we all grew up on the Harry Potter franchise, so she's unfortunately in heaven. Now she can reunite with Dumbledore. So, very sad news. And who else have we lost? Oh, Alan Rickman, who played Severus Snape. Also, so she has reunited with Alan Rickman and both Dumbledores, actually. So just want to pass that information to you. In case you didn't hear, or in case you weren't aware of that news. Anyway, Mazel Tov. I'm signing off, and I'm not gonna say I'm gonna stop saying everyone's safe forever living because of Elizabeth's comments of how that really promotes immortality. And I'm gonna stop saying that because if people don't like, I thought it was funny, but if people don't really like that, I'm just like that line. You just okay. Oh, you like it? Okay. It just makes you giggle. Okay. All right, then I will. I'm glad you still like it. So Mazel Tov. I'm signing off. Everyone stay forever living, and we'll see you next week here.